How do you think an original song would work in your video marketing strategy? Well, today we can ask that question to Adam Holt, CEO of Asset Map and our Real Video Finfluencer. Wait. Before we dive into the conversation with today's guest, welcome to the Real Finfluencers, a podcast born from our original video series spotlighting financial professionals who are using video to grow their business and their influence. Here's something you should know. Most of these guests aren't Idea Decanter clients. They've built their digital presence from the ground up, and they're here to share exactly how they did it. I'm your host, Laura Garfield, co-founder of Idea Decanter, and my goal is simple: help you discover strategies you can actually use. Steal what works, get inspired, and find your own unique brand of finfluence. Now let's get into it. Adam, thanks so much for joining us.
Hi, Laura. Great to see you.
You have some cool guitars on the wall behind you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Those came out of the garage and the basement during the whole pandemic, and I've been enjoying playing them again. So thanks for noticing.
So do you embrace the title of a real video influencer?
I didn't realize that I had become that. And thanks for letting me know that I am now a video influencer.
Well, I ran across one piece of content over on your LinkedIn profile that seemed to have gotten more engagement than anything else I saw. And it was this video of a song post-Shift conference, I think inspired by the Shift experience.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I didn't think anybody had watched that before.
Well, apparently a lot of people have watched it because you had a lot of engagement. Tell me a little bit about how you put this thing together, Adam.
Okay, so this is really fun. So I was on a podcast and someone told me that there was an AI music application that could take a script. If you wrote the script yourself, a theme, and you can have it create any kind of music. And I said, well, create a rap with this many beats per minute that talked about this kind of the joke of what's going on in terms of advice and how it needs to be deeply human. And it came out really fun. And I just kept playing with it and editing it on the side. And then eventually I put screenshots behind it using my podcasting application that I use for my own podcast. And I threw it out there as a farce. And I think I probably listened it to myself 100 times. It was pretty funny.
It's still playing in my head after just watching it once, Adam. Thank you very much. Tell me a little bit more about your approach to video on LinkedIn. Anything you see here that would help other advisors use the platform better?
That's interesting. A lot of the stuff there is around Advice Tech Live, which is actually coming up again, November 12th and 13th. It's a big kind of conference. And we actually will have a lot of what we call UGC or user generated content from other advisors and fintech professionals who will be presenting their speed demos of what they've built in the last year. But I think it's true. When I look at this list, some of the stuff that's gotten the most engagement, like you look at that Rocky statue one, which is very Philadelphia. I remember I drove past that on the way back from dropping my kid to school. I had this idea and I just jumped out of the car because there was no line. And I thought, God, that'll be recognizable to people. People will wonder what that is. So over the years, from learning from individuals like yourself and also other finfluencers, I guess you could say, I realized that the stuff that I was watching and was capturing my attention in this kind of endless scroll world was when it, number one, just spoke directly to me, right? In other words, it captured my attention. I either knew who it was or I knew it was intended for the audience, in this case, financial advisors. And then I created something that was somewhat compelling, but authentic has really been the key. So I'm sure you talk about this all the time, Laura. Authenticity really sells.
Well, I love what you're doing, and I do think it applies to advisors, even if they're not putting on major conferences or major virtual events like you are. I mean, many are still doing some version of webinars or in-person events, and having that short format vertical video as an invite that you can use as a utility player, not just on LinkedIn, but email it out, put it on YouTube, share it on all of your social, I think that does stop the scroll. It gets more people engaged, and it's a unique way to get more eyes on it, right?
Oh, absolutely. And look, even like the one that has the fountain from LaGuardia Airport, I had just been walking through there. It had just been renovated, and it was a mesmerizing fountain where the water falls from the ceiling. And I just took a video of that and said, "Oh my gosh, look at this amazing thing." Had nothing to do with financial advice, but I think it got one of my highest engagements of videos I had done that month. And literally, I'm just standing there with my phone at the airport. So I think it's a real testament to the fact that sometimes just creating some intrigue will start. People are having a conversation. That other one there, where I was with my mom on a charity walk, and I think people appreciated seeing, okay, yeah, I'm a real human. I'm not some AI generated face. Of course, I don't think they would generate this face if I had a choice.
Oh,
I
too
haven't.
hard on yourself. Is there a appropriate formula or appropriate breakdown of the amount of content you post that is how to, the amount that's about asset map, and the amount that is personal?
That's a good question. I tend to stay away from Facebook in terms of the personal. I tend to guard my life and protect my family from, more anonymity side. On LinkedIn, I tend to be a little bit more edgy. I like to push the limits. When most people approach LinkedIn is, oh, I have to kind of stay straight. Where's my tie? Where's my jacket? And I try to come at it more. I try to bring the Facebook, Instagram, view to LinkedIn, which is what people I think disarms and brings people back to like, okay, this is real stuff, as opposed to, oh, it's a marketing thing coming. They want me to buy something. And I obviously we all know LinkedIn is just so prolific in terms of business to business. So I think going authentic in a business environment is a real big. I think it's a smart move. In terms of my cadence, I tend to be unpredictable, right? When I get excited or passionate about something, as a perfect example, last night, it was Sunday night, I actually I discovered a bunch of bold tiles that I had created. You'll start seeing them. It was like, the question is like, a picture is worth 1,000 words. A picture of your finances is worth a whole story. That's it. Just that. And obviously, with asset map being this visualization about your finances, I figured I could write a whole mini post about how I really thought about that, why it was important. It was just really a hard hitting, like, you got to do this or else. And that happened to be about asset map. Sometimes I tend to talk about, the industry's broken, right? Which is really driving people to think about, how can I reimagine the business? That's why we started Rethink Financial Advice podcast. And I think it really depends on where I'm coming from. So I try to come at it and I say authentically, I mean in multiple veins.
Well, there are two nuggets you just shared there that I hope everyone takes away. And that is that the analogy, the visual way of telling something is attention catching, and also the challenging the status quo. The industry is broken. Well, let's not just keep talking about what's working. Let's challenge it to make it better where it isn't. We were talking before we got rolling about a decision you made for the business to move Asset Map from the Vimeo video hosting platform over to YouTube. I applaud you for doing that, because we're constantly telling people that YouTube is the second most used search engine today after Google, also owned by Google. So if you're putting your videos out there, YouTube's the place to put them. What was your strategy here?
Well, I can't take credit for it. My marketing team has done a great job of, making that move early. They told me they were moving to YouTube from Vimeo, which we had used as our business platform for selected distribution. But the reality is, it just wasn't getting the benefit of SEO and all the searching that's going on. And I think that was a real key. It's one of the reasons we also moved Rethink Financial Advice to YouTube. We uploaded every single audio back into YouTube, so it has its own channel for both audio and video, and we're already seeing a lift in terms of its adoption, right? Because you never know how people are going to get to this content, and the key is, don't make it difficult. So
Yeah, why not let the algorithm serve your content up to a huge audience, right?
exactly. And I think it's hidden in most of these other platforms.
Are your rethink short videos getting loaded over here?
The rethink short videos, actually, I think of them more as little clip advertisements. They're not there on YouTube. That's interesting. Is that something you recommend?
Well, what we're finding is that YouTube is pushing short content video, anything under 60 seconds that's vertical, to a much larger audience. So we'll have folks who will upload a long form video like a podcast to YouTube to their channel and then also load up those short format pieces. And the long format might get, a couple of hundred clicks and the short format may get a couple of thousand. So I think it is all just in this evolution of how long people want to watch your video and kind of game on the platform, I guess.
That's interesting. So your recommendation is to put the short form video embedded in your traditional long form YouTube,
Channel.
replays. Is that what you're saying? Your channel?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Like you segment it by channel. Do you actually create a separate channel for the short so that, people who want to watch a whole bunch of long form back to back, they can just do that? Or do they find that they're really just going after the short form stuff?
I think they're going after the short form stuff. And if you take I love the idea of using video as a utility player. So if you can take what you're creating already and sharing on LinkedIn and use it here on YouTube.
Interesting. That's a great tip. Thank you.
So you have something just shy of 9,000 followers on LinkedIn these days, which amounts to a huge audience. If there is one thing you're doing there that you would recommend advisors do, what would it be?
Only one thing?
Only one thing.
Play an original song. I thought you were going to make me play. I really did. When you said play an original song, I'm like, oh no, I'm going to actually have to perform here. True authenticity, by the way. Even if it's not good.
And vulnerability.
Vulnerability, yeah. I've used that word several times, as you've already heard it, and everybody has their own comfort zone with this. Not everybody has the interest to write long posts, but we talk to people all day as financial advisors. We know how to do that. We know how to connect at some level. We know how to educate. So I think if you're ever at all cautious about creating video content, just go for education. Just pretend you're talking to your clients and you're letting them know what they could do, either on a specific topic or a general topic or what you see people not doing. And I think the key to the authenticity is to allow yourself to be imperfect, right? It doesn't have to be no no no, right? Like cut down, perfect lighting, great background. I mean, crazy. Those things are smart moves. But I think the key is that people are looking for a way to connect with you. Because as we all know, financial advice is still a trust business. And that means that we need to find ways to build and endear trust and show that we're human just like them.
Adam, when I watch your videos or rather when I listen to your videos, you have a lot of voice control, your inflection, kind of the tonal change. Is that deliberate? Is that something that comes from a theater history? How can you coach people who aren't confident yet in delivering the way you deliver?
Thank you. My family drives them crazy. They say you're inflecting your, why are you so what's the word? Now of course I can't think of the word. Enunciating, right? Why am I enunciating? I do have an obsession with auditory communication because my modality of learning is actually listening. So I'm an auditory learner. If I hear it, I got it. I find myself, I have to actually say things out loud so that I can actually hear it. Otherwise, it's just chatter in my head. So that's, as a result, I feel like I'm continuously practicing communicating with myself. And so going on stage, and some people I think talk in front of the mirror, some people talk in the shower, some people are in front of the mirror, or whatever they do when they drive. I think for me, I'm constantly doing it. I also have a bunch of mentors, right? So there are people that I listen to and that I watch and that I grew up with. I grew up with Tony Robbins, basically watching him on stage all the time, listening to his tapes thousands of times over. So being a storyteller really, really requires that you be choiceful in that intonation. And I tended to use that also when I would speak to my children and have and tell stories, right? So doing this created more entertainment value, and I think it just stuck. So I do actively think about it though. So it just if it seems like it's so natural, it's because I've just done it 1,000 times.
Well, remember, if Adam can do it, you can do it too. And if you need more help building your authority and growing your practice with video, that's what we do at Idea Decanter. Oh, one more thing. If you're not already part of Idea Decanter's Real Finfluencer community, now is your chance to join us. Head to ideadecanter.com/join, and you'll be in. You'll get early access to advisor video tips, invites to exclusive events, and behind-the-scenes insights that you won't find on Google or even on ChatGPT. Whether you're just video curious or already knee-deep in content creation, this is the place to grow your influence with video. Don't miss out. And thanks so much for listening to The Real Finfluencers.